Hello, global education students. This is Amy Garrett-Dickers, your professor for this class this semester. I wanted to give you just a brief introduction to the course site and talk through a few of the elements on the syllabus and give you a sense for how I organize things and how we're getting started this semester. So when you first click into the course site, you'll see the first elements from the syllabus, which are just the basic information at the beginning. Please don't hesitate to let me know if you need me. You can text me at this Google Voice number. That's perfectly fine. Just make sure that when you text me, if your number is not in my contacts, which it probably isn't, that you let me know who's texting me, because otherwise I'll get a, hey, Dr. Garrett-Dickers, and I'm like, hi, I'm not sure who you are, but please feel free to go ahead and continue your conversation. So make sure you tell me who you are. You can also send me a message or leave me a voicemail message at that number as well. I do have an office on campus, but I'm not in it very often. I teach face-to-face Tuesday, Thursdays with the undergrads. Otherwise, I'm still working from my home for the most part. You can, of course, always email me. If you'd like to meet at any point in time to talk about the class, please do so. You can click here. You'll find that for the most part, my calendar says it's available from like 9 to 2, which I realize doesn't work for many of you in your professional careers. And so I'm happy to organize a meeting later on in the day, but I just try to block that time so that if I have after school things to do with my children, I can get to them. So we do meet online, of course. We have 7 required synchronous sessions via Zoom, and those will be from 5 to 7:15. This is Lotus. You will see her on Zoom. She has grown up on Zoom. We adopted Lotus and Lupin, the cats, in May of 2020. And so Lotus knows Zoom quite well and usually can tell when I sit down at my desk and start talking that it's time to be on camera. So I'm not going to try to move her because there's no point in it. She'll just continue to chat, to be here right over top of me until she gets bored. So we do have one text for the class, and that is this text, Comparative International Education Issues for Teachers. Please buy the second edition, which is 2017. You'll find the first edition, but the second edition has some updated information, should still be pretty affordable. I will also be using some chapters from other comparative ed textbooks that I have, but I'll do PDF copies of those chapters as needed for you. And if you're not a teacher currently, don't let the fact that it says issues for teachers send you thinking, this class is not going to be for me. Because the reason that this book is the best book for us, and I've looked at many and have thought long and hard about this for several years, is it really does kind of give the overview of all the different parts of comparative education. So there's comparative education, there's international education, there's development education, there's a wide variety of things. So, and it does a really good overview of those. We will have a book that you get to choose from, different examples, and I'll provide those options to you by the middle of February at the latest, so you can make sure you grab your book for that module that comes later in the semester. So I'm not going to go through all the elements on the syllabus, but I will just draw your attention to a couple things. You can see the complete syllabus here. It is a Google Doc. And also you'll find, in regards to the ways in which I organize the class, everything's going to be in modules. So if you click here on modules, you can go ahead and see that I have in this important course materials module uploaded your syllabus and the working course schedule. This Comparative International Development Education Resources Bank I might add to as we go throughout, but these are some wonderful resources for you to explore. And I actually ask you to do that as one of your first activities this semester. And then each module, Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, etc. At the moment, the only things populated are this first module task list and a beginning of class survey, which I'd like to respond to by next Monday, please, just so I can have some basic information to get started. The second part of Module 1 I will upload as soon as I can. I'm suffering a little bit from a long recovery from carpal tunnel surgery at the beginning, right before Thanksgiving, and it's taking longer for me to recover than I thought it would. So typing is something that I do in fits and spurts. So, but that will be uploaded very soon, and I will upload a screen capture explaining your task too. But for now, if you go into Module 1 Task List Part 1, you'll see basic, please complete my initial survey, review the course syllabus, and screen capture, which will be linked here, and calendar and screen capture, which will be linked here. And then explore any of those resources that I just showed you of your choice. All of these are hyperlinked. So for example, you click there, you go right back to the module. I do everything I can to check the modules and the links to make sure they work, but there will definitely be times when I'm unable, when I missed one or when it's hidden or something like that. If you find anything that isn't working, please don't hesitate to let me know. You can shoot me a message through Google Text, or there is also in the discussions an Ask Your Question forum. You can post there if there's something you find that doesn't work. So just to give you, again, a little bit of sense of the syllabus, as I said, you can go to modules or you can click here on the front page. Just to give you a sense of what we'll be doing. Comparative education is a field of education, and I actually have a PhD in comparative international development education. So if you think about the coursework that you're completing for your doctorate, I completed all my coursework in comparative international education and qualitative research and quantitative research, etc. So there's a lot that's in the field, and what I endeavor to do in this class is to give you a sample of some of it. So I give you a sample of some pieces of comparative ed, talk about some of those theoretical foundations that are important, sample of some international national development pieces, sample of some development education, and then hopefully that spurs you to continue to think about things in global education in the future. So that's where we are for that. Just some basic information about assignments. Any of your major assignments, I endeavor as well to have screen capture explanations of them unless we go over them in our synchronous session, just so that you have a good sense of what it is that I'm expecting in my voice, which I think is helpful. So if you have any questions about the syllabus, any questions about this introduction, about the ways in which I'm organizing the class, please, again, don't hesitate to let me know. Send me a message or an email, or go into, if it's a question you think that other people might have as well, or if you find a link that's not working, for example, you can use that Ask Your Question forum in the discussions as well. So I look forward to getting to know you as the semester goes on, or reminding myself about some of you who I had way back when in EDL601 when you first started your EDD program here, and moving through lots of my favorite things to talk about with global education.